and welcome to the Not Too Shabby Shop Stamp and Die of the Month Hop. This month we are featuring Critter Pops. Use the hashtag that you see above. It will also be linked in my description box below in order to find all of the creators. Once you have hopped along and stopped at each of the channels and left comments and liked their videos, I will have a link to Rafflecopter, which is where you will complete your entry for a chance to win a $25 gift card to the Not Too Shabby Shop. This closes at 11:59 p.m. on June 13th, and the winner will be announced over on the Not Too Shabby Shop channel on June 14th. Let's jump into the products I used for my card today. Of course, I have the adorable Critter Pops, which has 3 different pops, and then there are several sentiments. The dies for this stamp set do cut out the sentiments, and you do get the magnetic strip. I also used the Sunflower and Bees paper. The last time I looked, it was still available on its own. This is from the box of the month. You do receive 24 sheets of paper. I believe there are 4 of each design. I loved this paper, so it was one of the pads that I certainly had to have. The stamp and die of the month is still available, but not the stamp on its own. I'm using some ink from Stampin' Up, some really reasonable ribbon, and then I also had a tag that I was using that was from Honeybee Stamps. I'm going to do a little bit of Copic coloring. I left a little bit of this in. I did stamp my image using Memento ink, and I stamped it onto a piece of Copic Express It paper. I started coloring my flower with my Y38, which was my darkest color, and my Y35. For the center of my sunflower, I did use some browns. And then I'm going to use these blues. I do have the caps up on the screen. And I tried to pick colors that were matching the Sunflower and Bees pattern paper, and I think I got a really good match with this. So I'm going to move on to my bee markers and color in those stripes. I started with my darkest, which was a B24, and then I blended it out with a B23, and I left that white space and used my B21. The green that I used on the leaf, those are the same colors that I'm going to use on the other stripes. I didn't leave that coloring in because I thought that it was a little bit redundant. So for all of my greens, I used, I believe it's a G9 and a G7. And then for the body of my little bunny popsicle, I used the same yellow colors, and in this white space right here, I'm going to bring in a Y11. And I went really light here, and then I'll go back over it with my mid-tone yellow, and that will add that nice highlight, and everything will blend together beautifully. And then we're going to move on to the rest of our card. While I'm doing this coloring, I did want to talk a little bit about the Stamp and Die of the Month. There is a monthly subscription that is available. If you choose the monthly subscription, you are guaranteed a Stamp and Die of the Month. Each month it will be shipped to you at the beginning of the month. You do also get an 18% discount on the products. So I'm using my gel pen. I like to add some of the detail back, so I'm starting with my black one and adding the facial features back to my bunny. Once I finish with that, I'll use my white gel pen, and I'm going to add a lot of highlights. So I'll start down at the heart. I'll add some where the popsicle stick is, and then I'm going to go over the different wrappings around this little bunny. I think the addition of the gel pen always adds character to these images. I will have linked at the end of this video another video that I created recently using this Stamp and Die of the Month. It's more of a patriotic theme, so I hope that you'll click on that video for more inspiration. I'm going to add just a few more highlights to this, and then we're going to move on with this card. All right, so I've cut out my pattern paper. I do have a top folding card base that's cut to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inches. This piece of cardstock is cut to 4 by 5 1/4. I'm adding that piece of ribbon around the center of this card panel, and then once I finish getting this ribbon on, I will adhere it to the card base. You can see that I did cut out the tag. I also cut out another piece of the coordinating paper. It's about 2 1/2 inches wide, I believe. I really love that piece of pattern paper. I just think that those abstract stripes are very striking. So once I get this adhered, it's going to take me a couple of minutes. Please bear with me. I am not the best at getting things straight onto my card panels. There we go. Now I have it on there, and I'm going to go ahead and adhere this to the center of my top folding card base. I've already die cut out the tag from the same pattern paper, and I felt like there still needed to be a little bit more to this. So I am going to use the reverse side of that pattern paper, and I'm going to use a label die from my stash, and I'm going to cut a second piece to add over the tag, and I think that it adds just a little bit more detail. As you saw, I did add foam tape to the back of my tag. I'm trying to figure out how I want to adhere my ribbon. I do need to trim it down a little bit, and then I'm going to off camera heat up my hot glue gun. I think that the hot glue holds the ribbons a little bit better. I'm going to settle on the vertical placement of the ribbon, and then of course I'm going to add that hot glue to it to make sure that it stays in place. I've removed the release paper from the back of my tag, as you can see, and I'm going to place that at an angle, and then I'll come in with that label dyed piece of cardstock, and I'm going to add that over the top of the tag, and you're going to see how much it's really going to change the composition. So I thought I'd go horizontally, and then I settled vertically, and I really like the addition of that sunflower. It goes really well with the blue sunflowers in the background. Off camera, I did use that Stampin' Up! Ink to stamp the heart that was in the stamp set, and I also stamped my sentiment, and then I used the coordinating dies to cut those out. You can see that I didn't mention this, but I did use the coordinating dies off camera to cut out my little bunny. I'll add my adhesive to it, and then I'm going to, again, place it at an angle onto my finished tag, and then we're going to add the sentiment. So I used the sentiment that said, "Hello Cutie." I used one of the blue markers to color in the center of my heart, and once I get these adhered, that will complete my card for today. I want to thank you so much for joining me and for participating in this hop. Please don't forget to use that hashtag to find all of the other wonderful creators that have cards to inspire you with. Make sure that you like the video, leave a comment, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel, I would absolutely love for you to subscribe and ring the bell so you're notified whenever I do upload another video. Until next time, I hope you have a fabulous day. Thanks so much for watching.